Hello, it's Steve again. I want to talk some more about the opioid problem. I've been trying to figure out where to start, where to, how to explain a complex situation that I'm currently in. Um, and I guess what I've come up with is that I need to start at the part where I was in withdrawals and really hurting, because I know there's some people out there that are in a terrible, terrible way, and that there's so few people that understand what you're going through. The best way I can do this is to explain how I felt at the time and what I tried to do about it, what helped some, and what didn't. First thing I would say is when you're in withdrawals, um, you get exhausted. Uh, you start off in withdrawals, and it takes a day, then two, then five, then 10, then a month is gone, and 2 months, 3 months. I've been on this for well over a year. Um, One of the things I noticed right away was I started feeling my body again. I felt like I weighed 1,000 pounds because I just never felt all of that input when I was on all those drugs. Um, Constant shaking. You shake nearly like you have Parkinson's. It happens when you're trying to type or write. Um, I've not been able to help that any. The more upset you get, the more you shake, of course. So trying to keep yourself from being upset is something. I was throwing up all the time. Basically, you get used to throwing up. I threw up probably 2 to 3 times a day. Well, I've done that now for at least a year and a half. I throw up 2, 3 times a day. I just get sick to my stomach, and you'll be sitting around, and then you just know. A lot of times you get the dry heaves, and but it happens all the time, and basically you get used to it after a while. Problem is mine's been happening so long, I'm starting to. Well, it started out I blew out like my nose, and so like all the straining to throw up now makes my nose bleed profusely. It just, I guess your blood vessels can't handle that much pressure day after day after day. And then, of course, lately now I'm starting to spit up some blood and stuff, and I think that's because maybe I have an ulcer, or I don't know why, but I don't think throwing up all the time is good. But there's nothing can be done right now. These are bad people I'm dealing with. Anyway, your bowels, if you're an opioid addict, you know that you can never go to the bathroom. You're constantly constipated. Um, it becomes not a joke after a while. You know, your bowels go to sleep just like the nerves in the rest of you, and it just says, "Well, I'm not going to do anything," and so it just sits there. It's very, very hard to go to the bathroom. Ha ha, maybe for some people, but when you get it, you'll know it's not ha ha. And when you go into withdrawals, the funny thing is that you get both. You get diarrhea and you're constipated, which is you can kind of figure that out on your own how that's not good, and then the throwing up on top of it. This stuff just goes on forever, and after a while, being miserable with that, you just sort of get used to it. It's just not. It's not killing you. It's just part of your everyday existence. Um, I'll say that when they dropped me off the medication the first time, and they just cut it off after 16 years of Oxy. I went out of my mind. I went 16 days without sleeping. I didn't sleep at all for 16 days. And the night times are, well, the days and nights are both bad. The night times are worse. I mean, your legs won't stop moving. Even if you want to try to sleep, your legs, your arms, your nerves still fire. And mine would get a feeling of buzzing. You'd only know this if like you had a lot of pain for a long time, but it almost feels like your nerves or your body is vibrating in a strange way that's you can't stop moving. You want to get up, and then you want to lay down and get up and lay down. And what happens is it's like with withdrawals, you lay on your side, let's say, and you're covered for just a second. Then, oh no, you're not covered. You got to move again. Nope, not covered. Nope, 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 nope. All night long, all day, all night, and you can never sleep, and you get exhausted. When you get exhausted, you start to hallucinate after a while, and keeping yourself together is impossible. No one's helping. Uh, it becomes a disaster, just a total disaster. Um, let's see. I remember the last day when I was really bad. That 16th day, my temperature. That's another thing. The temperature differences that happen. They happen every minute or 5 minutes or 20 minutes or half hour. I'm hot, then cold, hot, cool, hot, cold. But I'm talking like huge differences in hot and cold and things that don't make sense. At the time, to help myself, I had an air conditioner, a spacer, a small air conditioner like a window in. Plus, I had a heater. And I had both the heater, the air conditioner going, the overhead fan, and I had the windows open. But I'd have to constantly pull the plug on this one, switch this, switch that, put this one back in, back and forth, because I'm freezing and hot at the same time. Freezing and hot, freezing and hot. On that last day, on that 16th day before I passed out, I was so hot, I must have been 102 at least. And I was the water was just pouring out of my body. And I remember just turning I hit 911, went in the bathroom, plugged the hole, and turned the cold water on full and fell in the tub with all my clothes on. And I remember listening to it overflow for a long time, then bang, 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 and they came. And the first thing they do when they come in is say, hey, sign this for us right here. That means that they can't get in trouble for anything at all. And I found that out. I just tell them, no, I'm not. I fell off the rocks. That's another story. I was bleeding half to death, and they stuck me up like, hey, sign this for us. I'm like, I'm not signing anything. Anyway, digress. Next thing I would say, it's like having a breakdown. People say they have a midlife crisis, or they have a mental breakdown, or whatever you want to call it. This triggers, withdrawals trigger that exact thing. The amount of notes and paperwork and stuff I generated while being under these withdrawals is incredible. I mean, there's thousands of post-it notes and sheets of paper and things that I was trying to write on because my mind was was going, and I was afraid that I wouldn't be able to keep the thoughts that I had. And so I wrote and I wrote and I wrote these complex things. I wrote stuff like, I even wrote songs and poetry and saw strange things when I dreamt. I mean, it's an incredible thing to go through. It's the most horrible, incredible thing you could go through, as far as I'm concerned. If I ever hear anybody say that it's like having the flu, I swear to you, I'll punch them right in the face. It is nothing like having the flu. It never quits, and you don't know when it's going to end, which drives you crazy. Not one person can tell you, how long is this going to go? How long will this take? If I said, well, you got a cold, it's going to take a week to get over, or the flu, maybe it take 12 days or something. This doesn't end. I'm still going through withdrawals today. I still throw up every day. My temperature's off. Everything. It's like my body refuses to go back to normal. Uh, it's a very panicky situation. You get depressed. You you start realizing you start questioning everything. Like, what have I been spending my time doing? Look at me. I'm dying. I haven't done the things I need to do. You start pondering subjects, and of course, it's like your brain is just sitting there frying on itself, and it's. I'm trying to tell people how you feel. I've lost 70 pounds in the last year or so, just because I don't eat. You don't eat when you're on that many opioids. You don't eat really. You eat funny, stupid crap and drink all the time. You drink your food. You don't really eat food. I mean, some junk food, but basically I don't eat food. I just drink Coke, sodas, beer. I'm not a big eater anymore. I don't eat. I don't feel hungry because my stomach is asleep. It doesn't say, oh, I have hunger pains. Damn, I need a steak. It doesn't say shit. I just decide if I want to eat or not. And once a week you get to poop, maybe, if you're lucky. And but there's better things ahead. You can't give up on it. And I can't tell you that anything makes you feel any better. Being involved in drugs my whole life and stuff, I always figured I could figure out some concoction of drinking or weed or, something, but nothing will take the place of the opioids that have you addicted. You're stuck. It's a terrible. I quit drinking before. I quit smoking cigarettes. I quit weed. I quit cocaine. I quit every different type of drug, but it's nothing like opiates. Opiates are just they're the only thing I could say is they're like totally satanic. I mean, that's the only thing. You can use whatever word you want, but they are conniving. They steal your life. You build a different life completely with the drugs. I mean, I'm several different people depending on what's going on. In my case, I was overprescribed opioids, but I was also misdiagnosed. So all the things that were wrong were just covered up by the opioids. And once I woke up, and all that stuff starts wearing, you go, oh my God, this is not even what's wrong with me. I mean, I don't have osteoarthritis over my whole entire body so bad that, whatever. That's not it at all. That wasn't it. I had a whole bunch of broken parts and messed up things messed up from all kinds of different things in my life. And they knew about a lot, but they didn't do anything about it. That first guy said, hey, he's got osteoarthritis, and for 16 years it's been osteoarthritis. And sorry to go back to my thing, but I'm going to have to explain that too. You just won't believe how corrupt and horrible it is, and I'm almost sorry to tell people. The one big thing I can tell you is if you're like me, you go through your whole life, you live in the United States of America, you you go to school, you learn whatever, but you always sort of think in the back of your mind that, if something really bad happens, I'll call somebody. I'll call them, I'll complain to someone, there must be someone who deals with, bad people, or if a bad situation happens. Let me tell you right now, there is no one to help you. No one to call, no one that wants anything to do with it. I'll explain the situation between the patient and the doctor and the government at another time, but no one's going to do it. And, it's just wrong. We've just been left, and that's why there's so many sick people. People don't understand how sick you are, you know? I mean, just wait until I'll explain just how crazy this is, but I feel for you. Try to regulate your temperature. Make sure I drank so much liquor. I mean, I gotta tell you, I don't think it did any good, but it was all I could do. I was drinking a gallon of rum every 2 days. Plus, I was drinking beer. I mean, in 6 months, I spent $8,000 on marijuana products. $8,000. That's no baloney. Just on every different kind of thing that would help make this go away. And even if you would die trying to cover up the horrible, what the opiates did for you is not coverable by any other combination of drugs. Basically, it's the pinnacle of of being high and being out of pain. So there's nothing you're gonna do. It's impossible to trade one drug for another. I don't know if you ever heard that saying. You can't trade one, but you can't stop drinking by smoking weed, or smoke weed to stop drinking, or do you know? I mean, it doesn't end up working. You end up doing them all too much, and it becomes a huge problem as well. I'm trying to be honest here. I don't want to tell everybody all my bad things that's happening to me and what the bad things I've done, but if I don't be totally honest and tell exactly what's happened, then no one's going to get help at all. I mean, they didn't fix what was wrong with me, and they made me a massive drug addict at the same time, to a point that I couldn't have fixed anything about myself if I had wanted to. I mean, I don't even make the right decisions. I don't think the same way. I'm not even the same person at all. Not at all. I mean, if anything, I have to tell you. I mean, if you're a person who is totally enveloped with opioids, you are not who you are. You may say, okay, that's fine, whatever, but you are not who you are. And when you get completely off, you'll find out how you're not who you are, because you're not. You're making decisions, you're doing things that are just not what you would do. Your morals are not the same. Your values are not the same. Next time I want to talk about, at the first I felt so mad at everyone, at the doctors, at the entire thing, and I want to explain how the doctors feel, how you feel, how you say this has got to be against the law. I can't tell you how long I went around saying this has to be against the law. This can't be okay. You can't do this. I mean, I'm gonna call someone. I'm gonna tell someone that this is going on. This is a disaster. How can they be treating people like this? I mean, I've got 2 feet thick piles of files of them killing people, from children to old folks, waiting too long to help them so that they die before it gets. I mean, it is when you computer hacking. I mean, this is like you're gonna be. Just keep listening. I'm doing the best I can. I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to put it out there. Just hang with me. I'll get this going. And if anyone needs any help from me and wants to know something, you can get a hold of me right here and just ask, and I'll do whatever I can to help you. I will do the best I can. I figured out some things that will help. Nothing but being absolutely stubborn, and the only way it's really going to happen is if you just refuse to do it. And you just have to completely refuse. As if someone was going to try to make you do it. You have to be that way. No, you are not going to force me to do it. I am not doing it again. You have to be like that. I won't do it. I just won't, no matter what it makes me feel like. I won't do it. That's the only way it will actually happen. You just have to absolutely do it. And some people can't grasp the fact that you can put your foot down, to yourself. You can say, listen, this is ridiculous. You can say that. You can say, I am not doing this anymore, and I'm not going to be ruined or forced to be done like this, and people are not going to treat me like this. They're not. They won't. I won't allow it. You can't do it. You have to put your foot down and say, I will not have any more of this. It's killing me, and I won't do it. And you don't let yourself fool yourself into doing it more. You have to just not do it. It sounds ridiculous if you're not in the hang with me. I'll get this right. Just hang with me. I'm not going to let things go like this. We're going to figure this out, and we're going to figure out what's going on. Anyway, thank you for listening to me again. Remember, I love you and Jesus loves you. Don't give up. Because then you've lost. You got reasons. Don't give up. Just hold on. We'll figure it out together. Thanks, man.